For question number 3, they would never ask you this on the exam to estimate to the nearest tenth, because you would need a calculator, and if you can use a calculator, you're not really estimating, you're writing down the right answer. But this question could come up like this, and I'll write it out more like a non-calculator, between which two integers is log 5 of 100? That would be a more typical question that could be asked on an exam. First of all, you need to know what integers mean. So we have to go back to our numbers from grade 9 to remember what the word integer means. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. So it could have also asked between which two whole numbers, because the answer is going to be positive here. So is log 5 of 100 between 1 and 2? Is it between 2 and 3? Between 3 and 4? 4 and 5? 5 and 6? 80 and 81? How do we figure that out? Well, remember that logs solve for exponents. So this question mark you can kind of put in there and think about 5 to what exponent would be 100? Well, what do you know? You know 5 squared is 25. You know 5 cubed is 125. If you wanted 100 in between here, does it make sense that it would need to be between 2 and 3? And now, how do we use our calculator to figure this out? Okay. If you have a newer calculator, your life is easy. If you don't, I'll show you how to do it in the not as easy way. If you have a new calculator, you can either go to math, and you have to go all the way down to the bottom until you get to log base. This option is not available on the TI-83. But if you do log base, then it allows you to type in 5 there, 100 there, push enter, and it's 2.86. Roughly 2.86, so to the nearest tenth it would be 2.9. Okay? If you don't have that, you have two options. Okay? I'm going to teach you this later of why this works, but for now, I'll just show you that log 5 of 100 happens to be the same as log of 100 divided by log of 5. If I go to my calculator and I go log of 100 bracket divided by log of 5, notice that I get exactly the same answer. So if you don't have a TI-84 to do the log base, you have that as an option, but you'd have to remember that. The other option you have is you could say log base 5 of 100 equals x. That would mean 5 to the x has to equal 100. And I could type this into y1 and this into y2 with my graphing calculator. Five to the x there, 100 there. Have to set up my window so that I at least see up to 100. So I'll make it go to 120. Hit graph, and they should intersect at 2.86. So we can go second, calculate, intersect, enter, enter, enter. Sure enough, 2.86 they intersect at. So obviously if you can write the log base straightforward, That's the easiest. We're going to learn why log of 100 divided by log of 5 is equal to log base 5 of 100 later in this unit. But it is another thing that you can use. And so a more typical kind of question would be to estimate between what two whole numbers that answer would be. And that's kind of mental math, figuring things out. Oh, questions for that one, and we're not going to do them right now. We are going to do example 4 and 5, R13 and 15.